I think in our world today, there is not a word in technology more popular than the name fintech. But it's unfortunate that while these conversations are happening, not also so many people might actually know what it is. And that is why I do what I do, to try and bridge that gap so that everyone can actually get into the conversation of what is happening around our world today. So number one, fintech is a term that is used to describe financial technology. Basically, the application of digital technology in the financial services. Financial services are the services you receive from banks, from insurance companies, from investment companies, lenders. That is what financial services is. So fintech is basically the application of technology into those services. Think about some time back when you making payments alone, you had to go to the bank for you to be able to do that. Think about a time where lending was just a whole process that you had to take days, if not months, just to get through that transaction. Think about a time that in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, people who invest in financial markets, think about a time where you couldn't do it over the phone and you had to go all the way to market. Think about a time where insurance services were just as manual as they come, but that has been reduced into a very efficient process by this thing called financial technology. There are several types of financial technology. Just to mention a few for our own understanding, we have something called mobile money. If you didn't know that, please know that mobile money is a form of fintech. It's a form of financial technology. Bank apps. These days, I think I am able to truly understand what is happening in my bank account as a result of using bank applications. It makes it more interactive and more easier for me to know exactly what is happening within my bank account. We have things like crypto assets. And one day we shall discuss in detail about this. And of course, we have things like the central bank digital currencies. Those are forms or types or example of technologies that are being applied in financial services. And just so you know exactly how we arrived where we are right now. In the early 1950s, the technology that was being applied back then in the financial services was something called the mainframe in the back office. So there was just a mainframe in the back office of financial institutions that were purposefully for the back side, the back end of these institutions. And then we moved into some time in the 1960s all the way to 1980s, where financial technology companies were basically providing services to the financial institutions. So basically, they build technology that was to serve the financial institution. The technology was to serve the bank, and it was now transitioning into the front office. Yeah. And that is where now things like MasterCard started. The SWIFT basically stands for Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. And of course, that is when this kind of technologies came up, and they were mainly supposed to support or provide support to the financial services company. And that is where even these companies were able to build the core banking systems that are being used by the banks. Yeah. And then now that journey has now transitioned into the present world, where we have fintech technologies, these financial technologies that are now dedicated more towards the customers. So what they're doing, they're coming up with technologies that are making the customers interact directly with the technology. And as a matter of fact, fintech companies are even getting into providing the services that the traditional firms were giving. So they are slowly eliminating the traditional firms and introducing themselves as both the digital providers and as well as the financial services providers. And that is why you find companies like Tala and all that, they give you loans, but at the same time, they give you a platform to get those loans. So they are lending you money, they are lending you their money, but you're using their platform for you to get that money. So that is an example of what a fintech company or a financial technology in our present time. And just to tell you how much this thing is having an impact in the financial space, in the sub-Saharan Africa alone, between 2014 and 2017, the accounts that have been opened through mobile money alone is double the amount of accounts that are being opened through the traditional financial institutions. So it tells you that there's a huge migration that, of course, we don't know how far it will go. But I hope for that person who didn't know much about financial technology, now you know a bit of that. Thank you.